Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. Thank you for taking time out of your day to check the video out. We have more PlayStation news, rumors, and leaks to go over and cover here today. So before we dive into these topics, if you end up enjoying the video or finding it informative, be sure to leave it a like. And if you are new here to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button as well. We're starting here talking about Silent Hill 2 Remake. Some people are playing it. If you pre-ordered the digital deluxe version, you were able to gain 48 hours early access. I will say, I feel like I got kind of lucky. I decided to buy my copy physically or pre-order my copy physically, and it actually arrived here yesterday. So I was fully prepared to have to wait the 2 days for the release of October 8th, since I decided to go physical over digital. And I gotta say, I'm pretty surprised that I was able to actually play the game at the same time. I feel like things like that don't usually happen. But yeah, Silent Hill 2 is out, and I just want to say that for me so far, I haven't played much of it, but for what I have played, it's definitely living up to my expectations. I want to give a shout out to Blooper Team because they really did do a phenomenal job here. Just again, based off of what I played, they really nailed the atmosphere. The game just looks superb. It really does. I've been playing it on both the fidelity mode and the performance mode and kind of switching between them. And the game does still look really good in the performance mode, although I do think it has a couple of performance issues. But putting that aside, it's just awesome to finally be able to play this remake that we've been waiting for a long time. And also want to give a shout out to the audio designers. They really went above and beyond, I would say, for this game and did an incredible job. But all around, it's living up. So just wanted to kind of put this out here. Let me know if you're playing Silent Hill 2 Remake. I do want to move on to the next topic though, which talks about PlayStation 5 exclusives Astro and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth currently lead the Golden Joystick nominations. This is being reported by Push Square. They say Future Publishing's annual Golden Joystick Awards is underway, with nominees for almost all of its categories now live and ready to receive votes. Unlike a lot of industry award ceremonies, the Golden Joysticks are decided by the public. You can have your say on this year's nominees by voting. The voting closes on November 1st. The only category not yet open for voting is Ultimate Game of the Year, which opens on November 4th. For now, Astro and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth are the most nominated titles, recognized in 5 categories each. Team Asobi itself is up for Studio of the Year, and its 3D platformer is nominated for Visual Design, Audio Design, Soundtrack, and Console Game of the Year. Meanwhile, Rebirth is recognized in Storytelling, Soundtrack, and Console Game of the Year, with a further 2 nominations for Cody Christian's performance as Cloud and Brianna White's Aerith. We expect this pair of games to be frontrunners in a lot of 2024 awards. Elsewhere, Helldivers 2 gets a nod in 4 categories, while the breakout hit Balatro nabs 3 nominations. Looking at the shortlist, there's a lot of variety, which speaks to the sheer volume of great games we've seen released this year. So yeah, I thought that this was worth mentioning because we are approaching the end of the year. December's right around the corner, and around this time is when people start talking about Game of the Year nominees. And it makes sense that these 2 games, Astro and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, are going to kind of be the front runners. I think there are other games, but a lot of people that I've encountered when they talk about their Game of the Year so far, a lot of them immediately point to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but I have also seen some people pointing to Astro as well. I've even seen people mentioning games like Helldivers 2. So, you know, we're not quite there yet with the Game Awards, but we're starting here with the Golden Joystick Awards, and it's looking pretty good for some of these PlayStation titles. But we're going to move on to the final topic of the video, and there's going to be quite a bit to say on this topic because it's pretty interesting, and it actually kind of goes back to some previous rumors that are seemingly at least halfway being confirmed here. We're actually talking about Microsoft's Halo, and I have a report here from Push Square where it says a contingent of PlayStation fans believe Xbox stalwart series Halo could make its PS5 debut in the future. As part of the Halo World Championships overnight, Microsoft made some surprise announcements. Developer 343 Industries has been renamed Halo Studios, and all future franchise entries will be created using Unreal Engine 5. It also showed a render of Master Chief in his Halo Combat Evolved armor. While far from a confirmation of anything, it's worth noting that the transition to Unreal Engine 5 was rumored earlier in the year, and it was claimed by The Verge's Tom Warren that the company was considering a remake of Halo Combat Evolved for rival consoles, including the PS5. Microsoft has been bringing various other titles from its catalog to Sony's console, although it's yet to make any further announcements since Sea of Thieves. Bethesda's Doom the Dark Ages and Indiana Jones the Great Circle have, however, been confirmed for PS5. It sounds like the newly renamed Halo Studios is recruiting and presumably has a long way to go before it's ready to release anything. It's also worth noting that even if Warren's posts are accurate, considering PS5 as a target platform is far from confirmation. It was certainly a seismic announcement, or it would be a seismic announcement if Microsoft's bread and butter brand eventually made its way to Sony systems. So if we go back and we look at the report that is being referred here, this was brought up on June 6th, 2024. It says the original Halo Combat Evolved has already been remastered for the Xbox 360, but according to The Verge, Microsoft is giving the classic FPS another facelift and is considering putting it on PS5. The project is said to be in the early stages of development, and the Xbox Series X and S maker is contemplating whether to include it in the firm's Project Latitude, the internal name of Microsoft's multi-platform efforts. Tom Warren then goes on to claim that Hellblade 2, Starfield, Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, Age of Mythology, and the heavily rumored Doom the Dark Ages project will all be in contention for PS5 versions in the future. Microsoft is showing some restraint, though, as Warren then states that Fable, South of Midnight, and the rumored Gears 6, which we now know is Gears of War E-Day, are not being lined up for PS5, at least not yet. So you can see why people are starting to think that this is the beginning of, Microsoft kind of shifting towards taking Halo multi-platform, because a lot of the rumors that we previously heard that had yet to be confirmed are now being confirmed, such as them choosing Unreal Engine 5, seemingly teasing that they're remaking Halo Combat Evolved with some of the images that they put out here. And it is worth mentioning that it seems like these are the early days. It seems like whatever projects they are working on, because I believe that Halo Studios, formerly 343, did confirm that they're working on multiple projects. But yeah, it's also interesting to kind of look back and see that The Verge was correct about talking about Doom, right? And mentioning how Doom was going to be released on PS5. At the time that that article came out, it was just a rumor. And, there are quite a few other games on that list, such as Hellblade and Starfield, that have yet to be confirmed. And I don't want to walk away from this assuming that this is, confirmation of any kind that Halo will in fact be coming to PlayStation. We're going to have to wait and see, but you know how the saying goes, where there's smoke, there's usually fire. And in this case, there's been smoke for some time. But it does seem like people are, I would say, cautiously optimistic about the future of Halo, because it's not 343 Studios anymore. They're just being called Halo Studios, but, it's formerly 343. So I don't know how much confidence that gives people. I do also want to mention this as well. Recently, Jason Schreier basically talked about what he knows about Microsoft and their internal plans. And the reason why I want to tell everybody to just kind of, I guess, relax on the idea of Microsoft going full multi-platform and the idea of Halo coming to PlayStation is because Jason Schreier basically said that right now inside of Microsoft, they don't know what they want to do. There is no mid to long-term plan. It really does just seem like they're kind of figuring it out as they're going along, and they're kind of changing their position every day or every week or every month. And so it really sounds like there is just a lot of uncertainty inside of Microsoft. And, when you kind of take that and you look at what's happening here with Halo, I don't know that it would be a safe assumption to just, conclude, yeah, Halo's coming to PS5. But again, there have been quite a few rumors that claimed this is what Microsoft wants to do. And so we'll just kind of sit back and see what ends up happening. But definitely let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, guys. That's going to do it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. If you did, be sure to leave it a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share the video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.